Hey, what's going on, YouTube? How are you on this frigid day? I hope you're staying warm, and thank you for coming by for this kind of short video. I've been making videos that seems longer and longer lately, trying to reel that in just a little bit. I've got a couple of talking points here I'd like to share with you guys, and it has to do with some of my beliefs and what I know about Bigfoot, or what I think I know about Bigfoot. I can't really say anything for sure, but some of my thoughts and what I believe are a similar thought by a lot of us. So let me refer to my trusty journal. I actually write stuff down by hand with like a pen and paper, like the old days, like the old timers used to do it. Actually, I have a computer, and it would take me twice as long to type it out. And and it's almost like you'd think I would type with two hands. Nope, it's like this. So instead, I write my stuff down. So I have a thing here. What I think I know about Sasquatch. So bear with me. It's only a list of 12 right now. Some of the stuff I wrote down a while ago, and I'm kind of just getting to it now because I have expanded this list. So my theory, and I think a lot of us can agree, Bigfoot leaves trace evidence out in the forest. Whether that it has been here or is here or both, they leave behind something. They don't float through the woods and leave nothing behind. So here's some of the things that I think make sense to me. And I kind of use this as a nucleus, sort of. And then some of the theories that I have are kind of based away out of this main kind of root theory that I've got. And I keep these things in mind when I'm out exploring and I'm looking around, seeing what I'm seeing. Number one, I think we can all agree on, Sasquatch is bipedal. They walk on two legs. They walk upright. I also think that they don't do that 100% of the time. I think when needed, that they could drop down just as quickly and probably move just as efficiently on all fours, if not more efficiently. I'm not sure of that, but who knows? It's a possibility. Number two, stick breaks. Now, I know that there's some people that aren't on board with my theories on stick breaks and the importance of them. I believe it to be a form of communication between clans or between Sasquatch one another as one passes through an area or a clan passes through an area. They maybe can learn and read the stick breaks and leans and tree bends and sapling breaks as kind of a note left behind, right? You know what I mean? A little scribbled certain stick break or a certain sapling break. It leaned in a certain direction could mean I'm hunting here, so find your own spot. Anything that's a for instance, just something like that. Footprints. They leave footprints. Now, I know that it's a kind of a thing. It's hard to find a long track of prints. I myself have found some pretty convincing prints, and they leave behind something like that. Again, they're not just floating and hovering over the ground. They've got to leave something behind. Elusive, extremely elusive, very difficult to find, and there are people that go their entire lives researching this subject and never even get to see one. So it being elusive, I think we all as a whole can agree on that. Here's one that I believe, number 5, they travel in groups. I think they travel in clans, family units, pods, whatever tag you want to put on that. I think that 90% they'll travel in groups, family units. Probably in the case of an adult that's going to leave a clan to start a new family or something like that, or a rogue Sasquatch that is not going along with the plan, that is feisty and just doesn't want to listen to anybody and runs away from home like a rebel, like a rebellious teenager, and says, "You guys go pound sand. I'll go kill and eat and sleep whenever I want." Number 6, they observe us closely. So I believe this wholeheartedly, that they are very curious about humans. And not only that, I would think the younger ones may be a little more curious, get a little closer to us. But I think as far as to be able to ensure the species isn't discovered. I think that it is a tactic. I mean, the military uses that kind of tactic. Observe the enemy, gain information on the enemy's placement, where they are. And I only say enemy because we are the number one threat to Sasquatch, so I think they consider us a problem. And without a doubt, I think it's very important that they keep us in their sights. I've said before, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Keep an eye on us. And the only way that they can do that, they can't sit back 12 miles into the forest and wait for us to come to them. I truly believe that they come to us to watch us. Like I said, the younger ones may be just curious, watching kids play at the park, watching hikers, backpackers, campers, especially campers at night. And they observe and watch and just absorb information and see what they're looking at. And that way they can determine their next move or if are they in danger. Verbal communication, whoops, whistling, chatter. I truly believe that they communicate with each other. I couldn't imagine that a species lasting this long, able to stay hidden this long, doesn't have some sort of form of communication. And not only do I believe that the stick leans and tree bends and stuff like this is a form of communication, I think verbally they communicate with each other, whistles and stuff like that. I have a really neat story. Me and my son and my nephew were up in New Hampshire, and it was my son's first hike with me when we were out exploring looking for a Bigfoot sign. And we had started out the hike. We were about a mile in the woods, and he heard a clear whistle right behind him to the right. He said, "Dad, was that you?" And I said, was that you? And he said, someone just whistled. Just a simple, just like that. That was the sound that it made. I heard it. I thought it was him. He thought it was me. My nephew in front of me thought it was us, and none of us whistled, and it scared my son, and it made me a little nervous as well. But it didn't feel like we were in danger, but it clearly whistled. Let's see. Next, number 8, their smell. I think that they omit this foul odor at will. I think they have scent glands, and they can do this at will, that it is used as a deterrent. Maybe it possibly could be used for communication between themselves, almost like I'm here, get downwind of where you think maybe a group or a clan is, let that scent out, see what the reaction is from another clan of Sasquatch. Or in the case of when it's been said, that people out in the forest, I've smelled some strange stuff before. I'm not sure if that was what I was smelling, but I've smelt that nasty, wet, skunky, almost dead, rotting dog type dirt mixed with dirt and water smell before. And I think that they do this at will. And I think that it's a defense mechanism, as well as that could possibly be a communication, a way to communicate as well. They are huge. That's number 9, the size of them. I think that's another thing we can all get on board with, the massive size of these creatures. A full-grown adult, I think, could be anywhere from 7 to 10 feet tall, maybe a little taller, who knows, right? 600 to 900 pounds. That is a large creature. Almost most sightings that firsthand eyewitness accounts talk about them as being, 4 feet wide, huge, barrel-chested, and 7.5, 8 feet tall. And that, to me, to see something, to witness something like that, I think would be overwhelming. Just to see something like that, it would shake you right to the very ground. Right? It would just shock the heck out of you. I know it would me. And their sheer size, I think, is undeniable. You can't argue that. Their speed. So this is big, I think, for them as far as a defense mechanism and a dual purpose for hunting and overall traveling long distance. Hunting, the speed comes in to chase down a deer, a buck, or an elk, or whatever it is that they're looking for. If they want a finger sandwich, they chase down a rabbit and scoop it up, right? Chasing deer down, I think that they're long-winded as far as they probably can run long distances fast at long distances. My opinion about that, but I think we all can agree that they're extremely fast, which helps in how elusive that they are. Number 11, so throwing things. Throwing rocks, acorns, pine cones. So I think that there's a couple of reasons for the throwing things like that. To scare people away. There's a possibility they may hunt with stone. They seem to be able to just miss somebody when they feel like it. And I think that they have that capability to actually strike a deer or an animal that they're hunting with a stone and kill it, or at least knock it off its feet. And I think the younger ones use that as a recreation. I really think that they just think it's fun. It's funny to throw things at hikers or backpackers, campers and stuff like that, just tossing things at someone's tent or at night at a campfire, just kind of tossing things. And I think it's amusement for them to see the reaction of humans. The last thing is kind of what I started off the video with, is that they leave trace. My belief, they leave behind trace. They can't magically just hover through an area and leave no trace. Hair, scat, bones, prints, sticklings, these kind of things, they leave behind something. And I think that being able to study what they leave behind is just so important to learning more about the species and getting us closer to understanding the species in general. And that's what I do mostly. When I go out into the forest and I'm walking around, I'm looking for this trace evidence. I really don't go out, very, very rarely will I go out and with the hopes of getting one on video. I think that's just going to be, that's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So what I do is I focus more on trace evidence, and I think they leave plenty of it. So thank you guys for listening to what I know, what I think I know, which, I mean, who knows, right? But these are the things I base this is my kind of core theories that I go off of when I am exploring out in different forested areas. And I find in some forested areas, there is no trace at all, which really compels me or convinces me that they do leave these certain things as evidence, trace evidence, because I can go in an area and hike all day and see nothing at all. And in different areas, it's all over the place. And that's why I think the stick leans, that phenomena of leans and breaks and tree bends and all of those things, I think that really should be taken more seriously by some researchers. But hey, if not, that's fine. Do what you do, because it's none of my business. I just know that so much of my exploration and things that I find in the woods really goes on trace evidence, because I have yet to see one. Thank you so much, guys, for coming by. I really do appreciate it. And I will, without a doubt, see you guys on the next one.